Seems like the stories here They're here for the show.
Time to go. Time to go. Time to go.
Welcome to the Навii line. This journey will be returning to the court of Fontaine. I am Elfan, your tour guide for this trip. But I hope you won't mind if my commentary fails to do justice to the majestic views before your eyes. Anyway, the destination of this tour is the capital city of this nation, the court of Fontaine. Even the critic who once compared the city to a cage of stone and steel could not deny its aesthetic appeal. To the right of the aquabus, suspended in midair, is Fontaine's renowned research institute. I hear the employees there do crazy overtime regardless of rank or distinction. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the incident. Excellent. We've reached the terminal station. Please prepare to disembark. I don't mean to hurry you, but there are just so many attractions in the court of Fontaine worth visiting. I recommend that you begin sightseeing as soon as possible, so you encounter as many of these treasures as you can. As for me, I might use this opportunity for a rest. Maybe I'll go to our ways for a cup of coffee. Even tour guides need a pick-me-up now and then.
Time to go.
I came here several times with my father when I was little. But
Oh, don't worry.
in that case,
Ooh,
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good,
And if it's...
well,
Yeah. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but...
Oh, true.
Speaking of cases,
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward.
if it hadn't happened right in front of us...
Right? Yet it was because this...
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished...
In such investigations, even the smallest step, to be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in... It's easy to guard against and deceive us, which is exactly why the Spina di Ro... Those highfalutin folk are... It's all right. Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended.
I see. So, I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect...
Yeah, we've had...
Well, would you consider some more,
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's best.
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the place. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play.
Could you suggest...
All right. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm...
that...
valid point. I overlooked that. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, why don't we give it a try after...
Huh? Paimon?
Was this...
No, it's fine.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon would...
Is that so? If we're all finished eating...
Yeah, we're... Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so...
Okay. As for
Hey, Navia! What are you...
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina...
Let's get ready to try to...
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, in any case, I wish you...
See ya!
Time to go.
There aren't many people around and...
Vache.
What looks like we're back here at... Huh? Traveler? Ugh.
Vache?
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? Huh? Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Vache, are you my No, wait. You seem to be someone else. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land? Yes, that is what I was once. I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light. I also remember no matter where I went, Vache would go with. But now, we can. No! The thought of me gives him no succor. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. Perhaps that is so. If only I could have comforted him. Told him, is that what you call it? Dissolving. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless... I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then see... I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell, then.
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand? Quick, now's our chance! I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I
followed you.
I believe that following someone without their...
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety. And I will not...
Do not!
Sorry, Demoiselle.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Chlorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech.
Sorry,
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you
I doubt I know much more than you. But I believe that the mastermind... Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract...
I'm sure they've known about me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those...
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not... I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula?
Yes. Be careful.
I will continue investigating, no matter what. Regardless.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon.
Right. I suppose that's the best news.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Chlorand was being sincere.
I know, She's...
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon, those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious. And there was that champion duelist named Chlorand who came out to save us too. We got lucky there.
Oh, come now. Forget all as such. We're still...
It will take 50 years for me to match...
If it were me, I would have joined...
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger?
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off.
Huh? Really?
Yes. All thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake. After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted so...
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grand...
Huh. Really?
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. But that's when I figured out that you might be in danger.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend...
Well, you did foil a plan. Speaking of which, did anything
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the Traveler Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too! But does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hot...
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel? While...
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh. Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crimes, but he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolved. Yes, thank you. This is very Oh, you mean...
Well, you did say that And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not.
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite...
You talk too much. Well, in that case, we also have some plans to go over, and hopefully...
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is
Time to go.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure...
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted any...
Very good.
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue.
Time to go. Yeah. 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 Time to go. Yeah. Time to go. Time to go.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently...
After all, we don't...
Seems like it's tough
To be honest...
Your father...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me...
No. I'll explain. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one that 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would... But strangely, that even after being serious... 3 years later, I still don't... How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If the closest piece of info I have is that my...
So that's why you're so determined.
That's right. I've also also tried. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to, I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth. And now, here I am investigating.
Demoiselle, please.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered any. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet even our supporters decreased greatly due to...
Wait! If Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of... People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... never mind.
There is one other.
Oh. Her? Well, yeah.
Miss Clorand has... She knew Master Callus before. There was... Oh,
It's not that I don't understand her at all.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you...
afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the... Yes, that is our...
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who... All right. Anyway, that's the information I want. Thanks.
Yeah.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you...
Paimons, huh? Navia?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our...
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just... But, never mind.
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did...
Wait, so you...
How could...
Guess Paimon...
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But...
Does that...
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find, and that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. If the Oceanid you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should...
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of cases? In that case, let's go talk...
No, it's nothing. The Palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Halt! Please state your business here. The chief... This place does look...
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't...
See? They've got great...
Yep. Paimon can if you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from...
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steam.
We're here today to report and archive some info...
Is that even...
Of course. Don't worry.
All right, then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice...
Thanks.
Please come in.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Neuvillette.
It's all right.
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances.
Ah, I see. In that case...
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to touch?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler?
Is that so? All right then.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly
And what? Are you trying to console me? Extend your... No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as... You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allow... In your eyes, the value of a human life is not... If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die? Everything was hanging on a thread. There are still so many things I never got to... If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes.
I'm sorry, Miss Navi.
You and my father are truly alike. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone, my apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Navia,
I'm fine.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the...
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of...
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered in the rain. That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been... Yeah! And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad...
I really think I found a true genius for... All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new leak...
Yeah! We're gonna make progress!
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want... Great. Let's go then.
Follow the wind. Yeah.
Whoa! What a huge ship!
There's no need to be so surprised. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps a gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Paimon was confused why a group was... But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself...
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula be...
Time to go.
Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle. You said before that you still had some business at the court.
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really... You still remember, right, Melus?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Lini's. Both were...
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, at a glance, it was a kind of drink that could...
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as... And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath. But no matter how much they... Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind...
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with... The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed, but that night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned, but then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding...
Huh? How did that happen?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither... Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were... Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought, but, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired. You're right. We still don't...
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. I think this third person is... On that note, however, even though this will not please... Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal... Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed... There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise...
If that's indeed what he wished for, was I not the closest person to him? What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he... Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still... Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not... I want to find out the real answer for every...
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be...
So you do know something else, Melus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that... But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle...
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he and the serial disappearances case... 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed, but as long as you remained safe, he would... If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he took...
Right, so nobody would be able to get...
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to...
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful...
So he chose to die in silence.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want. I'm sure he'd be
That fool. No. He might have set up everything precisely because... Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. And then... Malus, what was the key?
It's the location where synth is produced. When he was threatening the enemy, boss didn't share that. But if you want to use it against the enemy...
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and there's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have but a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to... The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed. But also...
Then, in that case, why not work with the
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Lini's case. We have no idea...
Huh. That's true. But things are different now.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into...
I am the butler, after all. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative...
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately... If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be... After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, the first is Florent, Spina de Rousseau.
Huh?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusts. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans. There's someone else like him, too. Marcel, the head of
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. The boss helped it to grow. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now...
So, they're like a sister organization of
Yes, you can say that. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between... Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities...
I see. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among...
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not...
Of course.
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would all... After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit.
Oh, thank you so much, Belu.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together.
Time to go.
It is settled, then. Please...
Thank you for arranging...
Excuse me, miss.
Hey, Navi is all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rousseau...
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of...
You don't understand.
I didn't know how to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly... I know. Only the full truth could bring closure to you.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the on the matter regarding my husband. My daughter and I...
Would you mind sharing it with me? I
always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest, so when Mr. Callus came to him with a proposal, he tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found.
They found out. Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but... Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always... Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense.
But Mama, why is Papa still... Papa always wanted to be a good man.
Well, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah, Papa was a...
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will
Thank you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is...
You really think so? That's the first...
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and...
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House? Someone...
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, after my partner here put the dots together for me, can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that...
Let me think. Mr. Callus was after that. He told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him. My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made... But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead body.
So you also remembered...
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. Reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure, but according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other... About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying, But hold on. If that's what he didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve?
About that, Malouse told me a thing or two. I'll tell you everything.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rasu. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I...
Don't worry. I will... You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve...
It's always just like teachers. You gotta invest a lot before you can start anything.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that?
I mean, where I work is... Callus did a fantastic job running. It would be next to impossible for me to find... Anyway.
Yes. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that...
I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually...
Of course. Without them, I couldn't Why do you ask? We definitely can't.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered... So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me...
Then you think too highly of my... If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same, removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex... So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely they're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though...
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, jokes aside, I'll be staying in the city for a...
Follow the wind. Never again.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? Sure. I will let him know.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House.
Yes, I've never...
Oh, you were...
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole... I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressed. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf. I can already imagine...
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the...
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right?
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but...
Oh, and...
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt, if not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't...
Oh, you're giving us too much...
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that... But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, if anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its fund...
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't... Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is... The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the...
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself.
Sounds good. Just let me know. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend...
Being skilled at something doesn't make it a hobby. This can work. I'll just treat them as new samples.
One with nature.
We've talked to all three suspects.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough...
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Florent mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of...
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had... If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
That's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used.
Huh. So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the... makes sense. But without... Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been... It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the...
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd followed?
Given everything that's happened since... but who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also... Still really hard for me to imagine them. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business? Thierry, you say? Huh. It is, but... I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha? If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Florent? It is, but as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with persons.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And, who could it be? You know, if you think everything through...
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into what?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness that the suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes. Malus, we need far more solid proof before we...
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been...
Huh? Aren't you the guy...
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left.
Wasn't that place built specifically for...
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartag...
What?
Yeah, we know him.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit.
Wait, how?
That's what I thought was strange about it. So, if the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our plans.
Right. Because they'll think they've already found...
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder.
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Since this is a trap, you're right. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make...
We'll help you.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver. When did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson. It's our hope that your confidence...
Thank you.
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. According to Malus's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance. Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. Ah, you're right. Navia's probably...
It would appear that I must repeat my question. Do you accept the charge that you are the
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate, in which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have... I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers when I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back.
Hey! Don't you understand?
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to... Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat...
Alas, it would appear that in that case, let me explain.
That case had nothing to do with... Huh? What's going... What?
I told you, Miss Navia, this is the but that was an exception.
Oh, please. Did you ever think we can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true... And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia...
Oh. Yup, so, Your Honor. Is there nothing else for...
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person...
That person is... Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabriet.
Huh? What Confrérie?
I've heard of them, but...
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, and if the charge...
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel... Mr. Marcel, you will not...
Apologies. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just...
Very well.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years only through elucidating what really happened in that...
Navia, do you come on? Why would... If that's enough to make me a suspect...
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Callus was defeated by champion Jules. These are the known facts.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and after that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all trace... Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, however, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information. The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when, however, in the end he reconsidered, and instead, unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself, but now it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible.
That's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the
What a great theory. It also explains...
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You
but I think I agree with everything
Then, may I ask some questions? 1. Do you have the evidence to
I'm afraid not. I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes, we should be able to find him. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all—
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent...
My second question has to do with the ensuing— Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court?
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea, my father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the— At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been...
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have— Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter, but what good would that do? How can had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice? But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, and once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will—
So, you mean to say—
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask— I don't need your apology, your guilt, but since he entrusted his will to you, Claran—
Yes, as a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to— I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus—
Since that's your testimony, I
concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained—
Right? What she said was fact.
Wait, weren't they just talking about—
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are in my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Cal. And at the end of Lini's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized the culprit could only time their actions so precisely. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the bank—
So that's why you suspect. I'm used to it, though.
No need to appeal to...
I won't try to refute. On top of that, does a person have to be physically
Oh,
I know that even with that, alas, Who won't feel at least a little? But if I were to dismiss this do you know what the biggest flaw?
I suppose.
It's time. I'm a businessman by trade. In addition, but the disappear.
I do apologize.
No.
Is there anything else? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease?
Seems like she. At this rate, Navii will.
I think you've done a superb, but aren't you going against all of... He wished for you to become more, once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into...
This isn't just about me. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image is it? A man named...
Huh.
Oh, so you...
I've merely...
I was waiting.
Time to go.
Take flight!
Quake! This is order.
Whoa! The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place. Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top. But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Into the wind.
My apologies. Kamisato aunt. Sometsu. Fire hazard.
The wind knows me.
Solidify!
one with nature.
I will have order. Stabilize.
Into the wind.
Take flight. Time for a light show. Now the path is clear. Let's go.
Time to go. Time to go. The wind knows as one with wind and cloud.
Solidify.
The fuse is lit.
Time to go. Into the wind.
Whirling snow. Here comes the fireworks.
The wind knows me.
My apologies. Fire hazard.
Into the wind.
Take flight. Embrace the ice.
Crumble. This is order.
Wind strategy. Time to go.
After, though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's... What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these... Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappeared and then they were turned... And all the boxes of things. These names. Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the sin. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get sins. Paimon will take notes on this and... Let's see what's written here. Nothing escaped... Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report. Yep. It's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and... This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact content of the old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the... He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long... Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the water. Mixing in progress. Whoa, there's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's... What's this over here? Looks like some kind of... Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female... Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's... How can someone write something that terrible and such... You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he... Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. You mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vache was No, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water? In any case... We've looked at almost everything Yeah, we haven't found anything that... No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to Sure thing. Paimon won't admit defeat to this guy. Lovers? Then you found her... Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. So many! A whole page's worth! The final name Marcel! Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that...
And whose image do you see? Is it a man named... Oh, so you...
I've merely...
I was
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my...
Just how often do...
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence... But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always...
Huh?
We've I've investigated your lair. After your lover, Veneer, was dissolved, you kept abducting young. You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all.
So that's it. Even the villain. And with that,
This information regarding your past. You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away. And so, you never noticed how we changed.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations.
Or our determination to see things through.
You're determined.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise...
Do you really pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, they said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called Veneer is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes. But I'm not from this blasted place. So
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go! I did all of that. And in the end, I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress.
Don't touch me! Veneer, please, Veneer.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a...
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vache and worked as an adventurer with his partner. During an underwater expedition, Veneer accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in. Vache learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of During the course of his research, Vache discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, after exchanging blows with Spina de Rasula for many years, although the assassination did not go as Vache expected, he was able to turn callous, and just recently, Vache attempted to frame Lini as the culprit of this. However, his attempt to frame Lini failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This thus concludes the enigmatic history of the series. The oratrice will now deliver... According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse, caught guilty.
Guards! Take the Good. It's what...
With that, the
We really just witnessed history.
Yippee! We have not... He's hurt so many innocent... Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were
The day our late boss had...
Yeah. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past... Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way,
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? No.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also...
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you all...
Please respect the laws of Fontaine.
All right, but this sure is a...
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that the guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to... We now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse. According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny. What's with this verdict? Is your
Huh? This has never happened before.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the oratrice...
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of...
The judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal is... Guards, Please take the suspect into...
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Hey, Monsieur Novelette, what's going on?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to all I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
I don't know what...
What does Lady Verena mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible.
Yeah, so are the verdicts
My dearest citizen, don't tell me. You thought
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious.
However, if you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances, everything he's done, not to mention the all shall be revealed in time. Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this...
So she chose to make her...
So you're saying we should...
She probably just put on that performance to save face. However, please be assured...
All right. After all, he's done plenty of
Time to go.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing?
Stop resisting arrest!
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vacher? I erased all records of that name.
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But the Fountain of Lucine? Then, please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you...
This request, is it worth as much to you?
Of course! Wait.
Humans. Will they betray? Very well.
Your Honor,
I will go with him. You do not...
Thank you.
Time to go.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking.
Vache!
Ah!
Yes, that's it!
Vinier, it's me!
Vache?
I'm here! I'm here! Where are...
Hey, wait!
Vinier, is that you? It's me!
Vache? Why did you... You look a lot old.
It's been more than 20 years all this time. Only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get... Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could...
But Vache, if you ask me, if not for you, I would have finished my law degree, and if not for you, I would have continued to if not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. It's all because of your self. You're right. I am not every woman who died by your hand. As our bodies dissolved, our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea. And we were no longer. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not.
Why? But then...
She doesn't want to see you anymore. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our... But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? You are a liar. A heart. The only thing you are not is Vinier's. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vinier's, she has had no...
No! Yeah!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came... But on top of that, she also said that because... She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no...
Vache.
Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Oh, well met, partner.
Even this weather can't put a...
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia!
Oh, now that...
Sounds like you're really...
It's just been one thing. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. This time, though, everyone...
So his name's definitely...
It's been the dearest...
That blasted... Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just... well, maybe it...
Huh? So you know Charlotte too?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the... I believe the story was... To be fair, though, she was trying to lean on our...
Oh, yeah. She told...
Anyway, I told her to make sure... Oh, and in other news...
Oh, are you two on better terms?
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, it was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway, now that the case is final... Oh, actually...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth. And on top of that...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go...
Sure thing.
And in that case, everyone...
Yeah, you're right.
Huh? There's someone there? Isn't that Nervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navi?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to...
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I wanted to show my father how much I've grown, but still, I doubt I...
In that case?
You really could use some... In any case.
Well, ever since that... There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything... Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct, which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like... But Mr. Callus proved me utterly, if not for his sacrifice. The serial Mr. Callus made the choice he did for his daughter, for his... And in the end, from a certain perspective, a justice that's higher than... So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callus in person. This regret has filled me with a sadness. That high and mighty chair in the opera epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work.
So, you're actually...
Sorry about that.
Didn't I just...
So Navia and Nerva, let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's... Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss... Anyway, Nervalette is still standing around.
Time to go.
Oh, it's you two.
We ran into Navi.
I see. Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would...
So, at court, the...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature, and there used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of it, most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea.
So it really was where everything
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant.
So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life... To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding. Is there anything... That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be... Does that appropriately summarize the version?
That's right!
Yes, up to the present. Rumors have it that this prophecy...
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro-Archon?
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people... Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite serious. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left...
But with Farina...
Is there anything else? My apologies. However, I still believe the... For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat. As a divinely created mechanism, the people... Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also... Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this.
So when Lini told us that he heard a human voice...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my... In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to... While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have... If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with...
Is there anything else? Your sibling, another blonde-haired... If he ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure he followed our law. Is there anything... Very well. It will soon be time for me to leave this bliss...
You really are super...
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice...
All right. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.